Time to visit your home and try to keep your home up as long as possible. We mean up as long as possible,
That's
Michelle,
right.
because this is a busy time of year for those little creatures that like to go and eat away. We do have Mark Manning and Brendan Nading joining us in studio from Springer Home Services, and this is when the termites are waking up from their slumber, isn't that right?
Yep. The ground's starting to thaw out. Termites have been down below the frost line all winter long. And here coming into April and May is when termites are going to get very active and very visible to homeowners.
Now, is there anything in particular we need to keep an eye out for to note that there's termite activity over in your home?
You want to just make sure, some preventative measures, that firewood is not stacked up against your house. If you've got a firewood pile, try to get it up on racks. Any place where there's wood to soil contact can draw termites in.
So just having it up off the ground is helpful, not necessarily even away from the house, but just having it up off the ground. Okay,
yeah.
that's
Really?
good to know.
Yep.
Well, they like the moisture in the soil. Is that the deal?
They need a lot of moisture actually in the soil.
Really?
And on the outside of the house, if you see like mud tubes, that's kind of a highway for them to get.
Really? How high are these little mud tubes we talking here?
They'll go up your foundation up to 2 or 3 feet, up until they get into your the lumber of your wood of the house. Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of like their elevator, huh? Going up in there?
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, they don't like light, so they build a mud tube. They stay in the dark. They keep it moist. And
Are there certain parts of the house where you see it most? Like
it's as close to the ground as possible.
Okay.
They don't want to go any further than they have to. So the sill plate, which sits on top of your concrete wall, so they'll get into the framing lumber. That's why it's hard to spot for just a typical homeowner that doesn't know really what they're looking for.
Right. Now, we're talking a lot of damage can be done. What are we talking damage-wise?
Well, an average termite colony, a mature termite colony, you're looking at around 60,000 termites in a colony. To put it in perspective, in about 160 days, a colony of that size is going to eat about a foot of a standard 2x4. So, I mean, over a length of time, if they go unnoticed, they can do some structural damage.
Are there other preventative things that you can do, like having somebody come around and is it important to have that checked on a regular basis?
That's exactly what we do. This is called the termipest station. We put these in around your house. These sit flush with the ground, so this part is in the ground. Take the lid off.
Oh, what's inside here? I never looked inside mine.
This is actually a damaged.
Oh, you have one of these.
I got a couple of these. Actually, these guys put them in around my house.
So this is a termite damaged piece of pine. This is what sits down in the soil, and you can see the galleries where they eat this.
So that piece of pine, is that like bait for the termites?
It doesn't attract them, but when they're coming toward your house, they're bound to run into this.
Okay, so if they see it, then hey, free snack.
Yeah,
okay.
they get on it and then they send.
Now, what does that tell you guys then?
That you need some attention one way or another.
I never knew what was in there.
Well, this is what they look like before they're damaged.
Okay.
So it's just a soft wood. It doesn't attract termites, but if there's termites that are coming towards the structure, they're going to find these. When we put these into the ground, they've got a cardboard tube in here, and this simply just collects moisture, which makes this wood even softer, which makes it even
more appetizing
to the termites if they do show up.
How many of those then do you need to put around the house?
Typically, the most important places we're putting them is by the stoop of the home, because when contractors build, they throw all their extra lumber and stuff in the stoop, and then they just close the stoop off.
Oh, they cover it up.
They're putting termite food right in the stoop. So we always try to get a monitor by the stoop, by the corners of the foundation, just because that's where the biggest stress points are on the house. Most likely to have cracks in the foundation where these stress points are, so we want to have monitors on the corners of the houses, and then usually in between we'll just mix them in where it makes most sense.
But how long does it take for you to be able to, how long do those need to be in place for you to be able to detect?
When we do our regular setup for any kind of pest control customer, we're putting these in. We're doing it at the initial service, and we're checking these every single time we're on the property.
Okay.
So those just stay in place?
Yep. Literally all you see is that. This is all underground.
Okay.
You see that around your house.
See, I always thought that was some kind of chemical that was in there, but no, it's really not. This is a monitoring system.
It's just a monitoring system.
I had no idea.
So we don't put chemicals in the ground unless it's needed. But if we find widespread termites around the house, we'll do an injection all the way around the house with a liquid treatment. that will take care of the termites for 7 to 10 years.
Wow.
If we find just a localized area of termites, this is called a shatter pack. This will go in place so that wood 2x, that little piece of pine.
Right.
This is an insect growth regulator that's in here. They'll get in there, they'll take it, and instead of having a chemical all the way around your house, this will actually keep them from reaching molting stages.
Okay.
So it will...
From reaching maturity.
Yeah. It's a slower system, but it will slowly take
care of the problem.
It will kill all the workers out.
So in order to get rid, all of your application then is applied outside the house. Are there things that you need to do inside where they've made their tunnels and so forth? Or?
The termites are constantly working back and forth from
ants.
outside. Yes.
Okay.
From inside the house back to outside the house. So when we put that barrier treatment down, they're going through it.
Right.
And they don't detect it. That's the great thing about the product we use. They don't detect it.
Okay.
So they keep it
With
going
them,
through.
they take it wherever they're going. Yeah. That's perfect. Now, how about the pricing when it comes to termites and controlling the termites and monitoring? I think the monitoring is probably
Before
as
you have a
important as
problem.
anything else, isn't it?
Yep. Well, like any kind of pest control services we provide, even if you're not having ongoing issues, it's like having insurance on your car. I mean, if you ain't in an accident for 10 years, are you going to take the insurance off your car? No,
Right.
because when something does happen, it's going to pay for itself.
All right.
So if they have this service at their home, then you'll install these to monitor, and then you just come back every.
Yep, and we're doing a lot of other stuff other than monitoring for termites. We're doing everything.
Now, when it comes to pricing, you guys will match or beat a competitor's price. Is that right?
I can't guarantee you that, but we are competitively priced, and there is nobody following the SOPs that we are in, giving the services that we're given in pest control.
Okay, and again, this is called the Thermopest maintenance. Thermopest maintenance control system.
Yep.
Okay, got it. We can handle
Yeah,
that.
it's preventative. That's a better way to before we have a problem,
like
right?
that.
To be able to
And it's
keep
amazing.
an eye
Now
on
I know what those things are for.
Yep.
I had no idea what those were for. I just knew there was something to do with termites.
A lot of people think they're traps.
Yeah.
They're-
Or again, like I mentioned before, I thought there was something else that was inside of it, but you guys are just keeping an eye on what's
And
going on.
we do run into other insects. Ants is the most common thing we'll run into, and ants simply go in here because they're away from birds and other predators, and they pretty much have a shelter in here. So when we open these up, a lot of the times in the spring, ants will explode out of these stations. Well, they got built-in bait stations right inside here, so we'll use granular baits and gel baits, and we'll take care of the entire ant colony right at this station.
It's multifunction.
Multifunction.
Yep.
Perfect.
So people can go online and find out more about these services and how to get set up.
Absolutely.
At Springer Home
All
Services.
right, so how can people get a hold of you guys?
TrustSpringer.com or 515-262-9229.
That works. Okay, that's the way to do it, folks.
information.
They do an awesome job, and they really take care of things from the first day they get there. So it's awesome. Great job, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
All right, it is